Hello everyone. On this week's Marketing Minute, we're going to find the essence of your club's value proposition. Okay, so what we're going to do tonight is we're going to show you how to answer a very simple question, which is what the value proposition is. And that question is this: if I'm your ideal customer, why should I buy from you versus one of your competitors? And if you're not sure what the importance of this is, think about this for a minute. When you're going to shop for something, you have choices. You can choose, this vacation place versus this vacation place, this golf course versus this golf course. What we're going to do tonight is I'm going to show you how to find your club's unique value proposition and how to infuse it in your club's marketing pieces, whether it's print, online, email, or even just the conversations that you have with your club members and guests. So the first thing that we're trying to do is make a compelling argument that has two parts to it. One is appeal, or in other words, I want this. The second one is exclusivity, meaning I can only get it from you. The first thing that you need to understand with a value proposition is that it is the essential core of your business. It is why people come to you, whether they even realize it or not, or whether you realize it or not. This is why they come to you. The first thing you do when you want to find your value proposition is I want you to list about 5 to 10 benefits that your club offers. And don't filter them out. Even if you think it's the most, inadequate piece of value, you'd be surprised why people buy from you. And what we're going to do with each piece of value is this. We're going to rate it on a scale 1 to 5, 5 being the highest, on two things. Like I said, appeal, I want this, and exclusivity. So let me give you an example, and this will be a really extreme example. Let's just say that I'm selling oxygen, okay? And you might say, wow, yeah, that has a lot of appeal. I need to have oxygen to live. However, it's not very exclusive. I could walk outside and breathe the oxygen out in the air, right? But what if you had something like this? Let's just say, for the sake of argument, your club had an exquisite French restaurant inside. Now, would that have appeal? Well, yeah, a lot of people like French cuisine. Would that be exclusive? There's a pretty good chance that that would be. So what you do is you take 5 to 10 of these, rate them on a scale of 1 to 5, average them out between the two scores, and take the 2 top ones. Okay? And if you're not sure if this is actually a valid way to do this, there's a company in Florida called Marketing Experiments. They've conducted $20 million worth of tests specifically on value propositions. And what they found is when a company can adequately and powerfully explain why they should buy from them versus their competitors, the conversion rates for the number of customers they can turn into buyers and loyal buyers goes way up. So when you go through this, you want to just rate them and just take the top 2. Once you've taken the top 2, the next step, according to this company, is you want to provide credibility and clarity. Let's take them one by one. So clarity means I understand this. I get what you're saying. Okay? Credibility is fairly obvious. It's I believe what you're saying. Okay? So let me give you an example of what a teaching pro in Springfield, Missouri did. Sean Saunders. He was the only teaching pro in his area that not only obviously taught, but he also infused fitness. He was the only one that was a certified fitness instructor that also taught golf. Now think about this for a minute. Do we all want to be fit? Yes, we do. We all want to be fit. But is it exclusive? Well, if no one else is a fitness trainer and he's the only one certified to teach you these things, you got something. So his value proposition would sound something like this. Instead of saying, I'm the #1 golf teacher in Springfield, Missouri, which anyone can kind of say and there's no credibility to back it up, he could say, I am the only golf instructor in Springfield that's a certified PGA pro and a certified fitness instructor. Okay? So when you see ads that may say, we're the #1 this, we're the best at this, we're the friendliest at this, think about that for a minute. Could anyone say that? Is that exclusive? Okay? After you find your evidence, okay, you want to get very, very specific. You maybe you've had a huge amount of customers over the years. State that specifically. We have serviced over 2 million golfers, whatever the case may be. The more specific your evidence is in terms of credibility, the more powerful your value proposition is going to be. Now what happens from there is this, is once you find a value proposition that you feel comfortable with, there's one thing you can do, and you can always test it. So if you have an email list, when you send out your email blast, you can test the force of that value proposition. You can test it by how many people open the emails, how many people respond to your offers. If it's in print, you can do the same thing. What you think may be valuable to your customers may not be so. But what you want to do is you want to separate yourself from your competitors by saying, this argument of ours, this is why you should buy from us versus our closest competitors. Okay? So if you want to do some more research on this and you want to get really, really specific, I suggest that you go to the Marketing Experiments website. It's marketingexperiments.com. We'll put a link down in the description area. And I want to thank them for helping me with this video. And I also want to thank, for the editing purposes, Gavin Johnson, who is also a writer at Golf Club Management. And I just want to leave you with this. Next time you go buy something or decide to go buy something, think about the choices that you have and why you make one choice versus another, because ultimately all we're trying to figure out is why people say yes. And for the Marketing Minute, I'm Sean myself.